Hello and welcome to Reginaldesq. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the Tier 4 American self-propelled gun, the M37. So is it any good? No. The M stands for miss and the 37 stands for the number of times you miss before you get a hit. Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible thing. It's got a big crew. We've got, 6 people in it. It still can't hit anything. Now, of course, my crew's not fully trained. They started off at 75%. They're currently 80% trained, and they couldn't hit anything at 75, and they can't hit anything at 80. Maybe they'll hit something when they're 100% trained. I don't know, but at the moment, they're awful. I have a camouflage net fitted. There's a... let's have a look. There's two guns, basically. The first gun, the only difference between the two guns is that the second gun has incredibly slightly better accuracy from 0.82 to 0.8, and it has a slightly better aiming time. Other than that, the guns are exactly the same. They both have 27 penetration and do 410 damage, which you might be thinking, isn't that the same as the Tier 3 American SPG? And yes, it is. It's exactly the same penetration damage as the Tier 3 had, and it's exactly the same penetration damage as the Tier 2 German tank had. So yeah, the gun is not very good at this tier. It doesn't have the stun mechanic yet. And now, apparently, very exciting, the next one in the line, which is this one here, does have the stun mechanic. So the stun mechanic comes in at tier 5, and that's when they're supposed to be more accurate and faster firing and blah 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 blah. So we'll see if that actually happens when we get there. Haven't driven it yet, but yeah, this thing, hate it. I've pretty much disliked all of this low tier artillery. It's just like, well, it really is just toss a coin, but it's worse than a coin, because a coin, I guess you probably expect to get a hit every second time. Maybe it's more like rolling a 10-sided dice, and if you get a 1 it's a hit and every other number is a miss. That's kind of what it's like playing artillery, and it's horrible. Anyway, what can we tell you about this thing? I don't know. I'm not going to bother comparing it to anything, because I've done on the last couple of tanks, and really they're all pretty much the same. They're all horrible. So there's no point comparing it. Look, it's got an aiming time, well, to aim 60% is 5.27. So that means it's got about a 10-second aiming time. The dispersion with my crew is 0.84, but it's 0.80 according to the stats of the gun. How fast is it? It's 56 kilometers per hour in forward and 14 in reverse. I never had it anywhere near 56, so I think that's probably fiction. It does about 35 or 40. That's the best I've been able to get up to on the flat. Maybe down a hill it'll go really quick. I don't know. I haven't driven that far in it. I don't know what else to tell you about. 180 hit points, and 12 means it has no armor at all. So I'm not going to bother checking out the armor. I'm not going to bother doing a comparison. It's got no armor, and it's not that good. So let's have a look at some gameplay. The map is Muravanka, and it's a tier 6 game, and we're in our tier 4 tank. I've got the stock gun fitted, but it doesn't really matter, because the stock gun, the only difference between the two guns is really the other one aims slightly faster. Other than that, they're basically the same gun. So yeah, it doesn't matter. And I'm moving into a closest position. Actually, no, it doesn't matter. Sorry, the stock gun has a high arc and has a higher firing arc. Oh, I should have covered this in review. Yeah, I think the stock gun has a higher firing arc, but shorter range, whereas the top gun has the longer range and the low firing arc. I think the stock gun is probably much better, but still pretty terrible. Now, I've picked this game because I hit the most things in it, so it's probably the least boring. So we managed to get a good hit there on the Panzer IV-H. So when you're up against, I think that's a tier 5 tank. When you're up against tier 6 tanks, you don't do a lot of damage with the hits, because the gun is the same as the tier 3 gun. Just take a blind shot there and we hit him. Direct hit. Yeah, great. Blind shot when you can't see them, direct hit. Aim at them, stationary tanks, and misses. Anyway. So I have had, I can't tell you how many games I've had this tank where I have not hit anything for the whole game. No splash damage, nothing. Just because it misses. It's funny because I was really enjoying playing the tier 10, trying to get the SPG missions done. Yeah, that hit. Because it hits fairly often, and was quite enjoying it. But I remember when I used to play it before they introduced the stun mechanic, I never enjoyed it that much. So I think the higher tier arties become more enjoyable, and the lower tier stuff's the same as it used to be, which is pretty much terrible. And we actually eliminate that guy there. So you can see, getting some good hits in. I can tell you this is not normal gameplay. But at least it's showing what it can do, I guess. So we take a blind shot there, we miss. Missed by a long way, that shot. Bit of action on the side of the map. This guy looks stationary, so hopefully he stays still long enough for us to aim in on him. Someone else shot at him, which is a bummer because he might be moving now. So anyway, let the shot go. And we hit him. Direct hit. Well, that was a direct hit into a Lux and it didn't kill it. So, that's... you would think you'd do pretty good damage to a Lux, but anyway. So, we're going to predict the movements of this ARL-44 before let the shell go. And direct hit. So, he went off the screen, but it was a direct hit with the shell didn't explode on the ground. So, that was a couple of direct hits in a row there. So, this was a game where everything just kind of went right. Now, this guy is out flanking me and coming up behind me. I'm expecting to die any second. There's not really anywhere I can go. So now I fired a shot then. You can see it missed by a long, long way. I wasn't 100% aimed. The trick is going to be trying to get this AMX here without hitting my own artillery. But I think my own artillery is going to get shot in a second anyway. The AMX must be reloading. So I fire a shot and land close-ish, but not close enough to do any damage. You have to pretty much hit tanks or land, you know, right next to them. It's only got the 1.92 meters splash radius. So I lose my radio, I mentioned, no big deal, but I think my loader's hit as well. So I've used a first aid kit there because without a loader, we'll be here all day trying to load it. I just fire that there hoping to predict his movements okay, but as you can see the shot went nowhere near where I wanted it to. Didn't really have time to fully aim. This T1's moving pretty quick, so hopefully he stops. No, he stopped there. Can't quite get him. Hopefully he pokes out to take a shot at someone. I'll let one go just in case he's poking out. Oh, he actually had driven off. I saw the tree go down there, so that's no good. Panzer IV here is running away. I decided to back up a little bit. But really I'm thinking I'm going to get outflanked anyway. There's tanks all over the place. We're almost had it, so I've probably been spotted anyway. So I decided to just drive up and have a shot at one of these guys and see what we can do. Might as well. If I wait for them, I'll probably just get spotted and hit without even knowing it. So if I drive up to them, there he is, T1. Might as well have a go at him. And we hit him. I only did 62 damage. But anyway, he put us out of our misery, and that's it, folks. Oops, what do I do? So it was a class 3 in the tank. Probably would have been a class 1 or something if we'd won it, I think, that game. We hit quite a few tanks, and normally I don't hit more than 2 or 3 tanks. So that was a pretty good game. We did, is that 998 damage or something like that anyway? Not bad considering we were bottom tier in that game. We fired 14 shots, 7 of them were direct hits, which is huge for me. 998 damage, and what else? Hits received as a result of splash damage, 1, and that killed us. 5 damage, 1 destroyed. And there you go. Yeah. Thank you for watching my review of the M37. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more reviews, please subscribe to Reginaldesq. Have fun.